You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 19th of March. Jaishankar warns of economic weaponization amid growing tariff trends. Sunita Williams, Butch Wilmore return to Earth. PM Modi says Earth missed them. And Maldives' prosperity, security dependent on good ties with India, says former President Nasheed. And now for all the details. The Rise in a Dialogue, India's top conference on geopolitics and geoeconomics, is being held in New Delhi. Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar, speaking on Wednesday, noted the growing use of tariffs and sanctions to protect economic interests and highlighted how international relations have blurred the lines between domains of different countries.
VO1. While speaking at the Raisina Dialogue on Tuesday, India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar on Wednesday highlighted the reality of there being increased use of tariffs and sanctions by various countries to protect their economic interests, and that developing international relations have eroded the lines which divide the different domains across countries. Jaishankar highlighted the increasing weaponization of economic capabilities, such as financial flows, energy supplies, and technology, over the past decade. He pointed out that countries fight for their businesses, which contribute significantly to national power and employment. Jaishankar further stated that international relations today reflect a less restrained approach compared to a decade ago. He stressed that the boundaries separating different domains in global politics have diminished, signaling a shift in how countries interact on the world stage. Jaishankar's comments come amid recent developments, including the United States imposing various tariffs on goods from several countries, including India. The issue of tariffs was also raised earlier in March, when the White House press secretary criticized the tariffs imposed by other nations, including India, on U.S. imports like alcohol and agricultural products.
India on Tuesday slammed Pakistan after Islamabad raised objection to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's remarks over issues between India and Pakistan. In a sharp-worded statement, India's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal said New Delhi has made note of reference made by Pakistan about the Indian territory of Jammu and Kashmir. He said the world knows that the real issue is Pakistan's active promotion and sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. Terming it as the biggest roadblock to peace and security in the region, Jaiswal asserted that instead of spreading lies, Pakistan should vacate the Indian territory under its illegal and forcible occupation. The response came after Islamabad raised objection on PM Modi's comments of accusing Pakistan of aiding terrorism and waging a proxy war against India. Pakistan's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Shafqat Ali Khan had termed the remarks as misleading and one-sided and also made reference to India's J&K region. He also alleged peace and stability in South Asia have remained hostage to India's rigid approach and hegemonic ambitions. Relations between India and Pakistan have remained strained for years after the deadly attack on India's paramilitary convoy by a Pakistan-based terror outfit. New Delhi maintains while it wants peace in South Asia, meaningful dialogue cannot proceed until Pakistan ceases its support for terror outfits operating across the border. Marking the end of their prolonged stay in the space, NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore on Wednesday returned to the Earth, aboarding a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft as part of the NASA's SpaceX Crew 9 mission. Originally planned as a brief, days-long mission, their stay extended to 9 months due to propulsion issues with the Boeing Starliner spacecraft. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi also extended a warm welcome to them. In a post on X, Modi said that the Earth missed them and called their stay as a test of grit, courage and boundless human spirit. The government has also written a letter by PM Modi to astronaut Sunita Williams inviting her to visit India. Meanwhile, local residents from Sunita Williams' ancestral village in India celebrated her safe return in the wee hours of Wednesday with dancing and firecrackers. Residents of Jhulasan village in Gujarat state huddled next to a television as they watched the live broadcast of her return to Earth before celebrating. Some of the residents said a feast was being prepared later in the day to continue the festivities.
बहुत ही खुशी है सर, पूरी रात जगे हुए, रात भी जगे, रात को भी हवन चली है और सुबह भी हवन करना है, कल भी भंडारा करना है।
कल मिठाई बनेगी और मिठाई भी खाएंगे और दीपावली की तरह से हम उसका आनंद मिलाएंगे।
Gilgit-Baltistan is facing a critical healthcare crisis as anesthetists have initiated a strike, protesting the non-implementation of previously approved incentives. This comes amid existing challenges in the healthcare system in the occupied region.
Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan is currently facing a critical healthcare crisis due to shortage of doctors and lack of medical facilities and the ongoing strike of anesthetists over non-implementation of approved incentives that has exacerbated the situation. Reportedly, around 12 doctors were trained and selected for the incentives, but they endured over 6 months without the promised benefits and finally resorted to a strike. They are currently only attending to emergency cases. There is a looming threat of a complete shutdown of services if their demands are not met.
टोटल जीबी में हमारे पास इस वक्त 40 के करीब थिएटर्स हैं और अगर प्रॉपर प्रोटोकॉल के हिसाब से देखा जाए तो हर थिएटर में एक एनेस्थेटिस्ट का होना ज़रूरी है, लेकिन टोटल हमारे पास इस वक्त जो कंसल्टेंट हैं, डिजिग्नेटेड हैं और जो ट्रेन अभी ट्रेनिंग करके वापस आए हैं, टोटल हमारे पास इस वक्त 26 एनेस्थेटिस्ट फील्ड पे काम कर रहे हैं। तो उस हिसाब से इंतहाई शार्टेज है। अब ज़रूरत के हिसाब से इस वक्त हमारे जो नगर हुंजक का एरिया है, अस्तूर का एरिया है, गाकूच का एरिया है, तो ये सारे थिएटर्स को इस वक्त चला रहे हैं, लेकिन कहीं कहीं फिर यही शार्टेज की वजह से चलता हुआ थिएटर अचानक क्लोज़ हो जाता है। तो ये शार्टेज है और इस शार्टेज को ख़त्म करने के लिए फिर वही कि थोड़े से मतलब इंसेंटिव्स का मतलब ज़िक्र किया गया। तो वो इंसेंटिव्स इसलिए है कि यहाँ पे गिलगित में कोई प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल्स नहीं है, यहाँ पे एनेस्थेटिस्ट की जो प्रैक्टिस है वो बिल्कुल न होने के बराबर है। तो यहाँ पे एक आम MOB किसी क्लिनिक में बैठता है तो पर डे 5-10 हज़ार के हिसाब से कमाता है, लेकिन बेचारा यहाँ पे एनेस्थीसिया जो सीनियर्स हैं वो भी शायद महीने में कोई लाख तक वो ना कमा सके।
Experts say the healthcare crisis in POGB stems from Islamabad's neglect and failure to invest in medical infrastructure. With hospitals understaffed and critical services at risk, residents continue to suffer under Pakistan's poor governance.
Former World Uyghur Congress President Dolkun Isa called on the United Nations to take stronger action against China's ongoing repression of Uyghurs during the 58th session of the UNHRC in Geneva. Isa's remarks were delivered alongside the launch of an exhibition aimed at exposing the Chinese government's transnational repression of Uyghurs, which included the forced deportation of Uyghurs from Thailand, forced abortions, the detention of Uyghur intellectuals in camps, and the use of Uyghur forced labor. In his address, Isa emphasized that the Chinese government used all capacity trying to undermine the UN human rights system, and they spread the fake news, disinformation campaign, but the reality for the Uyghur in Turkestan has never changed. The Uyghur issue in China revolves around the persistent human rights abuses experienced by the Uyghur people, a Muslim ethnic group living in Xinjiang. There have been reports of over 1 million Uyghurs being held in so-called re-education camps where they endure forced indoctrination, physical mistreatment, and cultural suppression.
It's ongoing, but Chinese government used all capacity trying to undermine the Human Rights Council, UN human rights system, and they spread the fake news, disinformation campaign. But the reality for the Uyghur in this Turkestan has never changed. Still, the million of people suffering in the concentration camp. Still, Uyghur people subject to forced labor. China transnational repression is strong, ongoing. So that's why this time we display this pictures. You know, it is the academic, Ilham Tohti, Gulshan Abbas, many of the Uyghur intellectuals still suffering in the concentration camp. And the forced labor still is the major issue. That's why we display this all and inform to the people, don't trust China. Chinese
Former Maldives President Mohammad Nasheed on Wednesday said that the prosperity, safety and security of Maldives is dependent on good ties with India. In an interview with ANI on the sidelines of Raisina Dialogue in New Delhi, he acknowledged that there was a drop in the number of Indian tourists travelling to Maldives. However, he added that India has again become second largest destination for Maldives.
Well, as I keep saying, our prosperity, security and safety is very much dependent on our good relations with India. There's also another element to this. Tourism in India is complementary to the tourist industry in the Maldives. And as you mentioned, we had a downturn in tourist arrivals from India. But fortunately now it's picked up, and again India is our second largest destination. We have to have good relations with India, and all Indians are very welcome to the Maldives. Please keep coming.
A row erupted between India and Maldives after some ministers in Maldives government led by Mohammad Muizzu made derogatory remarks against Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit to Lakshadweep. The Maldives government, however, distanced itself from the remarks made by its ministers. At the time, many Indians on social media claimed that they had cancelled their planned holidays to the island nation. Adopting a strong stance, Bangladesh newly formed National Citizen Party has reiterated that it does not want the party of deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's Bangladesh Awami League to participate in the elections. Speaking to the US-based outlet, the diplomat Nahid Islam, a former advisor to the interim government and convener of the NCP, said his party does not want the Awami League to contest the elections. He added that individuals within the Awami League who are responsible for wrongdoing must be put on trial before any electoral participation. Discussing his party's vision, Islam, who led the student protest against Hasina in 2024, said that the NCP seeks to establish a second republic centered around the formation of a constituent assembly tasked with drafting a new constitution. He emphasized that the proposed constitution would be deeply rooted in the values of 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War and the student-led movement, what he termed as the July Uprising. Islam further underscored the need for an independent judiciary and called for the removal of the unlimited powers currently vested in the Prime Minister office. Political analysts believe the youth-led NCP could significantly reshape national politics, which has long been dominated by Sheikh Hasina's Awami League and her rival, former Prime Minister Khalida Zia's Bangladesh Nationalist Party. However, Islam's remarks about barring the Awami League from the elections have sparked debate over whether all parties will be given a fair opportunity to participate in the democratic process. Well, that's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.